Chelsea Football Club need to be on high alert as Ruben Amorim in a press conference speaks about his future publicly, and when I tell you he basically confirms he's leaving, he's confirming that he's leaving. The quotes are damning. However, a very reliable source has come out and said Chelsea are distancing themselves from Ruben Amorim, and it's got me a little bit upset. I'm going to explain what's going on. Then Mauricio Pochettino comes out and basically tells us he's not a clown, he's a coach. Make sure you know that. But more importantly, it looks like he's going to be staying, guys. And the reason I say this is due to two key factors, and I'm going to explain to you what those two key factors are later in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. And finally, Enzo Fernandez has caused a lot of controversy. A lot of people said, should we boo Mount, shouldn't we boo Mount? Mason Mount got booed like crazy. I was in the camp that said before the game, don't boo him. During the game, boo him out of the building. And you know what? It looks like Enzo heard me, and Enzo and Mount kicked off. We're going to look into what happened, and more importantly, why are Enzo, Gallagher and Caicedo left so exposed? I'm going to explain it. And the reality is, it falls back onto the coach, and until he fixes it, we aren't going to be a serious institution, because good teams will exploit us, and the talent is there for us not to be exploited. So before we get started, I need you lot to do me a massive favor. Number one, subscribe to the channel, because guys, 61% of people this year that have been on the channel are subscribed and watch the content, meaning 39% don't. So 6 in 10 technically think this is a good channel. 6 in 10 think this is a good channel. You know what to do. Subscribe. Number two, listen, hit the like button. If you're a regular watcher, you enjoy the content, the best way you can support the channel. I don't want the super chats. I don't want the super thanks. I'm here to talk about the club that I love, and I just want to grow my platform so I reach more people and build a bigger community. So you can help out by hitting the like button. Now, let's get started with the video. Fabrizio Romano is reporting quotes that Ruben Amorim has said, and I'm not going to lie to you, a part of me got excited and happy. However, the other part just hates the fact that it looks like he's going to be going to Liverpool. Ruben Amorim is the sporting manager, and he has absolutely excelled in 4 years. This is his 4th year at Sporting, and what I love about his years at Sporting is he's had ups, downs, and he's recovered every single time. The playing style's evolved. He's won trophies. He looks set to win his 2nd league title. He looks set to win his 3rd cup. And overall, you can see the progress he's done there. Sporting are a serious institution in Portugal. They have got the 3rd biggest budget, but they're performing with the big boys. And it's lovely to see that a manager just take a project and develop it with continuous, steady development. Not just spikes, but good development. But what did he say in a press conference that was so entertaining? Number one, he said, look, at this moment in time, I'm not going to confirm like Xabi Alonso whether I'm leaving or going. But what I can say is we will talk in this end of the season, because there is a chance that I could be leaving. Then he also said, and he reiterated this, we need to focus on the now. We need to focus on winning titles. We need to do what's best for Sporting, and we need to concentrate on the upcoming games. The time about me is later. Now we will concentrate. If that is not confirming you're leaving, then nothing is. Because in recent interviews, when he was asked, like 6 months ago, 12 months ago, he always said, I'm not leaving, I'm staying. And he repeatedly said that when Sporting want me to go, I will go. And in this situation, it's finally starting to sound different. The tune has changed. The lyrics of the song have changed. The melody is no longer going, oh, Sporting, I'm staying. It's, if at the end of the season, we'll discuss it. I'm happy, right? But no. Because Sami Mokbel, who actually is pretty regularly correct on Chelsea and Arsenal stuff, has come out and said Chelsea have distanced themselves. And I'm going to explain to you why this is big news. When clubs go after a player, a manager, or a contract, and it's so public, the minute it looks like they're not going to get it and they know internally that they've been rejected, they put out briefs like this. And this is a brief by Chelsea, in my opinion. This is Chelsea saying, we got rejected, we need to save face. It's one of those things where she's ugly anyway, or he's ugly anyway. You try to move to a girl, you think she's hot, bang, she rejects you. What do you tell your boys? She's ugly anyway, man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And the reality is, this is what Chelsea are doing. And it's really sad because we had an opportunity to get him the first time. And we rejected him. 2nd time, he said he wasn't ready to come. And now this has happened. This is really sad. We're losing out on a great talented manager. I think he's going to go to Liverpool, and I'm going to be bummed out. What do I think this means in the long term? I think in the long term, this means Two things. I think Mauricio Pochettino is going to secure 7th or 6th this year in the league, because I genuinely believe, and I don't know why I've got this confidence, they're going to somehow shithouse their way to good results. I think we are going to win enough games where teams in and around us are going to suck worse than us, and we're going to get 7th, we're going to get Europa League, and then the assumption is going to be, well, look at this way. We've made one Carling Cup final, we're going to potentially make an FA Cup final or a semi-final in the FA Cup if we lose. We have got Europa League football next year. This is genuine progress in a year where there have been injuries, in a year when there's so much disruption, generated revenue. It's growing progress for the team. We don't have to pay 10 million to sack him. But what made me think the two factors that he's going to stay, number one, it's his comments after the game. He said, this is the first time I felt like the Chelsea fans have accepted me with this celebration. We needed this moment. We needed a late victory. He also said, I'm not a clown. I'm not going to be jumping up and down and celebrating everything over the top, because I am here to be the coach. I am a coach. That was his quote. I'm not a clown. I'm a coach. Whilst funny, he's very accurate. He says he needs to be super analytic, he needs to be calm, and he needs to be composed. And the reason he's saying he needs to be all this is because he's got a young team. He needs to make sure that his emotions don't go over the top where it exudes onto them. They need to be in control. He needs to be there to ease it. And that's the first one. He's basically telling us he ain't going nowhere. As long as he doesn't get sacked, he's not going anywhere. And secondly, and this is the biggest one of all, he hasn't lost the players. These players love him. These players want to play for him. And the reason I say this is, you need to see, after the win, the way they're hugging him. You've got Cucurella, you've got Disassi, you've got Enzo, you've got Caicedo. Public displays of affection in front of cameras mean a lot. Chelsea win, Cole Palmer scored. Everyone's going mad. Enzo's running. And I was like, who's that player that ran and knee slid in front of the manager and hugged him? It was Enzo. It was Enzo. And Enzo is very powerful in the club. Trust me when I tell you, the players that are the most expensive and the hardest to move and the face of the project are the ones that will hold the biggest sway. Whether it's Reece James, whether it's Cole Palmer, whether it's Enzo, whether it's Caicedo, whether it's Levi Colwill, they're the ones with the biggest influence. So if they turn on him, he can go, but I don't think they've turned on him. I really don't. Like, that reaction yesterday epitomized to me that these lot still want to keep Pochettino. As much as the fan base, and me included, think it's time for a change and we need someone a bit more structured, a bit more composed, I don't see these ownership groups deciding that it's time to get rid of him. The final piece of news that we need to talk about is the uproar with Mason Mount and Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez absolutely was one of a Chelsea fans on that pitch. There was one little moment where him and Mount got into each other's face, head to head, and he tried to, almost like motion of a headbutt, him and Mount getting at each other, and then Noni tried to pull Mount away like, listen, you're not that guy, and simmer down, you're not that guy. Then Chelsea are winning, Enzo's tapping his crest in front of him, swearing at him in Spanish, and you can absolutely see it. Enzo was defending the honor of the club. And whether you like it or not, right, and a lot of people don't like it, especially certain people with channels, they're like, oh my God, this is so disrespectful. Oh, Enzo shouldn't be trying to overcompensate because he does nothing on the pitch. Well, it's clearly nonsense, because the first goal happened because of Enzo's Travella. The fourth goal that won us the game happened because of Enzo's quick thinking. So maybe shut up and actually watch the games rather than try overhype certain players. And we're not going to mention his name. The reality is, we have got a big problem in that midfield. And I'm going to explain to you why. People are saying, and I'm hearing this on a regular basis, and it's getting to the point where rival fans are saying, hold on, this isn't Enzo or Caicedo's fault. Why are Chelsea fans not calling this out? The reality is, this midfield that we have, it's too exposed. And the reason it's so exposed is because Enzo and Caicedo are left on, it went from Caicedo left on an island to Enzo and Caicedo. Pochettino essentially wants us to have 3-8, and that's not possible, guys. You can't have 3 box-to-boxes, consistently, because the game turns into a basketball game. And the way I want to explain it is, there's no control and there's no composure. So whenever we get the ball, everything's so gung-ho. And what ends up happening is, Enzo and Caicedo, who aren't as fit as Conor Gallagher. They're not. Conor Gallagher is a superior athlete to the pair of them. I think Conor Gallagher might be in the top percentile of athletes in the Premier League. Like, he is unbelievable for covering ground and just eating up running distance and absolutely being physical machine. However, what they can do on the ball, he can't even dream about. He literally can't tackle at the same rate. He can't pass the ball with the same class. He can't shoot like them. He can't run like them. He can't weight of pass like them. His vision isn't like theirs. And this is where the problem arises. What Poch wants and what we have it's not combative. The gaps are so large. And what's happening is they're shattered. The gaps they're having to cover, I don't think a prime N'Golo Kante can do it. I think you can put 3 N'Golo Kantes in there and they would struggle. And the reason I say it is because the gaps are so large. They're having to sprint and then stop and then sprint and then stop for 90 minutes. And what adds to it is there's no rotation. It's Enzo Caicedo, Gallagher. Enzo Caicedo, Gallagher. Tassadeh isn't playing. Lavia's not there. Carney's back now, so he's getting a few minutes here and there. But how long until his body breaks down? And for me, this is the problem that Pochettino has to resolve. If he does not resolve this, we are not doing anything positive in the near future with him. We will not, I promise you. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know your thoughts. Peace out, I'm out. I hope you lot enjoyed it. By the way, here's the match review from yesterday's game. I hope you enjoy that. And here are the pros and cons for Ruben Amorim. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's a great listen. You will enjoy.